Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Where is Deepa?
Good afternoon. She left, she had to go to her mom's place.
Okay. Yes. So Shanta had some rest.
Not rest
No.
actually.
But had lunch.
Could attend other work. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hmm. So how far did we cover, Binal? I think we were about to start this innate knack of inquiry. Right?
Yeah.
We have covered this dissolving of conflicts.
The natural movements
Yes.
and
So let's try and understand what is inquiry. We are using this term a lot since yesterday. Inquiry, let us inquire and all this stuff. But what is actually the meaning of inquiry? Whether this particular characteristics or skill or whatever that we may call it, whether it is innately sketched in organism or it needs to be learned. Let us start our understanding at that point. Because see, when we are talking about natural movement and unconditional occurrences, then we need to understand whether inquiry itself is a natural occurrence or it needs to be happening under some arrangement, under some training. That's a very crucial point of understanding. So basically, inquiry means exploration. Exploring the experiences is inquiry. We may end up terming that as probing or questioning. But basically, inquiry is a knack of exploration. Now, if we look at nature and its living organism, then we see that living organisms are programmed to explore the surroundings. To explore the surroundings, and while exploring the surrounding, the organism connects itself with the surrounding. That's a way of connecting with the surrounding. Exploration. So that the organism understands its surroundings, and then dives deeper further to go in the path of exploration. What is the reflection coming up when this is being proposed, that the exploration is a natural knack?
for me, I'm looking at this connect with the surroundings. Now, if I'm confronting with a mosquito again, coming back to mosquito, how would I be connecting with it? It's part of my surroundings, and
Yes.
so
Yes.
How do I connect?
Yes. That leads us to another layer of terming connection as if appreciation. When we are terming, or when we are using the word connection, then there is a presumption about this word connection that we must appreciate the surrounding. So in a
For me,
way of
I'm
swaying, the mosquito is also a way of exploration, connecting.
yeah, so in a more neutral sense, not necessarily to appreciate it.
Yes, yes. So see, basically mosquito for me, when it bites me, it's a discomforting experience. And I am trying to connect with that experience and relieve myself from that discomfort. And how do I do that? By swaying the mosquito. Now, we can definitely dive deeper into it, that while swaying, am I becoming destructive about the surrounding, or am I just protecting myself without an intention to destruct the surrounding, including the mosquito? That's a deeper question to ask. So these all things are the science of exploration and connecting with the surrounding. That it's very much pertinent that I have a discomforting experience when a mosquito bites me. If I deny that, then I'm in denial. It's a very physical discomfort when mosquito bites me. And it's very natural for me to sway that mosquito so that it doesn't bite me again, to protect myself. But while protecting my physical entity, if I aspire to destruct the cause of discomfort, that's an additional idea that I am putting onto myself. Are you able to comprehend this one?
Please come again.
So while protecting myself from the physical discomfort, if I aspire to destruct the cause of discomfort, to abolish the cause of discomfort, it's an additional idea that I am bringing in, that the protection, the destruction of the cause will protect me forever. This is an ideation that we are trying to feed ourselves. Yeah, Binal, you're saying something?
You've written organisms and not human beings here. So organisms explore to understand and connect with the surroundings. Now, I was passing by a roadside and I saw that there was a pet dog which was leashed to one house, and then 3 street dogs came and attacked this particular puppy which was leashed and killed the puppy in the process. So now where are they connecting with the surrounding? I mean,
yes, that's a way of connecting. That's a way of connecting, and it's a in case of animals, most of the time it is tentatively we are saying, but they are primarily physically driven, physical reasons. So this territorial aspect in the morning session Nandini was sharing, that's a physical security animals seek, and that is the reason they fight with each other or kill each another. So that's a physical reason of killing. There is no ideation much, seemingly. We don't know about their mental processing, but this word organisms are used in terms of understanding and connecting is according to their capability, neural capability and all existential capability. They try to connect with the surrounding, and while connecting, the killing for the physical reason is one way of connecting. That's how a lion also connects with a deer despite killing and eating it.
So connection is not necessarily the
that's what I started with. You remember when you brought the mosquito thing, because connection brings a connotation as a positivity, so called, that it's an appreciation, as if connecting means appreciating, applauding. may not be necessarily. So overall, this inquiry is the knack of exploration. For all the organisms, it holds true. It is very much natural to explore the surrounding. Human being having a complicated neural capability, the exploration is further deeper mental activity primarily to explore at the depth, comparing to the physical. So if we look at the human organism, we'll see there are a lot of limitations in terms of physical capability. We cannot fly like a bird. We cannot run like a cheetah. But in terms of neural capability, the kind of depth one can attain as human being is quite evident by seeing the surrounding as we have changed the surrounding. So that neural capability is something which is very much useful in the process of exploration or mental revelation, rather. It's a mental process of revealing the surrounding, revealing the truth. Hi Shilpi, how are you doing?
I'm good, sir.
So could you go through the recordings? No, this morning's recording
I
won't
could
be
not go
possible.
through this
Yes,
morning's
yes,
recordings.
yes.
I went through yesterday, whatever I had
Yesterday's.
missed.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Any reflection on the understanding of inquiry to begin with? Because we are just beginning to explore inquiry in different aspect, from different angle. Any reflection? What is inquiry?
Yeah. When last year, when I had started understanding this, I also used to feel that it is something very specific about something, anything, and I used to feel very handicapped, and I still sometimes do, about understanding that that what really am I to inquire, like how Beenal asked just now about in the case of mosquito, what am I to explore? Because it's very our regular way of understanding all this is very conclusive, as I come to know. When I start finding what about anything, that the things that exist in my mind are mostly in very black and white. Either some things are very good or some things are very bad, and they're very conclusive. So just the understanding that all of it is evolving, and whatever we know is not complete. Also, a lot of it, like in case of, say, mosquito or other organisms or things, is very one way. It is very because the other, it's not somebody we are able to communicate with, like things or organisms, other organisms. So it is only what we have we've been conditioned to understand, and as human beings. So this is good, this is bad, this does this. Also, they do not have, like how we understand now, that they don't have an intention to do it.
Seemingly.
Yeah, most likely. And unlike we used to have these stories, Panchatantra and all those as children, and I've tried reading some of those to my son in Hindi, in which there are birds, they fight with any animals, they have these human characteristics, they almost
Because it's written by human.
Yes. So so they all have the same human characteristics, and then we realize that there is probably nothing like that exists with them. So the exploration is very, as of like, when we start finding about anything, the exploration is very conditioned, I find.
Yes.
And as we go, just naturally recognizing a lot of times that it is conditioned and it is coming from our past beliefs and understanding. We are just letting ourselves begin to open up to see what else is there.
This is a very important point that you brought in actually. While exploring, if we are mesmerized with the past experience or the shared stories, then the actual exploration can never happen. The very knack, the very innate knack is to explore the surrounding for understanding its actuality. The actual understanding can only happen when we explore unconditionally, without any condition. Shanta, are you able to comprehend this?
Yeah.
So that way, the exploration needs to be very much unconditional. And how conditions happens, that we had been exploring since morning, that through ideas conditions happen. So while exploring, if we stick to the physical aspects primarily, then the ideas can be at bay, can be kept at bay, so that the exploration becomes very much actual. Let's try and understand further about the nature of inquiry. Nature of inquiry. The point Shilpi brought in is that conditions, when we look at something with the past influence or proposed influence, that time the exploration gets blocked because of the influence. Now, this influence becomes the agenda of exploration. Like we were discussing about the reverse engineering, that medicine, when we consume a medicine, the outcome is sketched in the lab before itself. The outcome is programmed. That is what is the reverse engineering. When the output is already planned, and through some strategy, we reach that output. So when we look at something with the prior influence from wherever it is coming, then we actually fix the output already. We fix the output already, and that becomes our agenda to prove that influence into our experience. The actual experience becomes a far-fetched thing then. Now, when we were talking about natural movement, see, any movement has its own direction. So by default, it will reach somewhere that may look like an agenda. But it is not prefixed. Necessarily, the meaning of agenda, you see, there is a question mark here. The programmatic direction cannot be termed as agenda. The programmatic direction of natural movement. So when we explore anything unconditionally, like a fresh visit to that thing, without any past experience, influence of the experience, or anybody prompting what is going to happen. So as if for the first time I am visiting that also will reveal a lot of things. But that's a programmatic revelation of natural movements. Are we able to distinguish between prefixed goal and by default revealing of some outcome? Dr. Kaur, any reflection on that?
Can you give an example?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Kaur, you're saying something? Will you give some example?
No, I am asking.
Okay, okay.
I am
Right. So, example, suppose agendalessly you are meeting with someone without any prefixed agenda. Just you got to meet someone and you are communicating, and communication is a way of exploration. Communicating, and you found a specific skill set in that individual, which you are not looking for, but you that particular skill set got revealed in the process of communication, and now eventually you have some work for that individual with you, like you run a company and you have some vacancy where that individual can be fit in. So now that got materialized. So that individual actually otherwise looking for a job, and you were looking for a talent, it got mapped into, and it gives both of you certain output by default, but it was not aimed at genuinely from both the sides. From that individual side and from your side, you were not doing a talent hunt, and he was not also while communicating with you, he was not hunting a job. So it just got
I have a
revealed.
doubt here.
Yes.
I have a doubt here.
Yes. Yes.
Why it is called programmatic? Programmatic means what?
Programmatic means unconditional. It's a certain programmatic aspect means an unconditional direction, revelation of a direction. The word programmatic is used to replace the unconditional direction.
Okay.
So, yeah, we can question that word, but all in all, the meaning here is. So, can we use anything else? Do you propose, Shanta?
Yeah, that unconditional would be better, I think.
Okay, unconditional direction of natural movement. Yes, yes, that can be. Yes. Now see, if suppose that particular meeting, the example of the
I
meeting.
Yes, I would
yes,
like to
yeah,
get
please.
some clarification. I've been suffering from this throat infection, and like yesterday I tried, putting some clove and what is that? Salt in my to reduce that, coughing and all while sleeping. And today I tried clove with what is that? Grapes, dry grapes. So here I had an expectation that, it might reduce, but I'm just trying here different combinations. So with this kind of, exploration of what it is actually, is that a programmable direction of natural,
Now,
movements, or what it is?
what is your understanding about this whole phenomena? That you have some discomfort and you chose some external arrangement to reduce the discomfort. What is your understanding about this whole phenomena?
I'm exploring and trying and experimenting actually.
Yes. So this particular discomfort in the throat caused by what? With your understanding, it is caused internally.
Yeah.
It's something blocking the circulation and causing the discomfort. Normally, the physical discomfort, the pain, is an indication of reduction in the circulation in the body, or something is clogging, something is not flowing smoothly.
Itching of throat and all.
Right? So now,
I was getting cough and all.
right. So when you look at your discomfort, could you conclude the cause?
The cause is maybe, like I'm using lot of fans, this very high speed of fans now, along with the mosquito net. In my mind, the thought is like, because of that high speed wind, I've got this throat infection.
Is it a
That is the
conclusion
cause.
or a tentative cause?
Many times I have got like that, like when I sleep under the fan with so much speed, then I've got earlier like that. So this is actually a conclusion that I have made to myself.
But it's actually a tentative causal analysis, right? Do you see that tentativeness?
Since I have experienced it previously also, maybe it is a conclusion that I'm making.
You are making a conclusion, but in actual understanding, what it is it to be confirmed, or it is to be
It is confirmed.
It is
It is
confirmed.
confirmed. Yeah.
Okay, so because of a statistical correlation, that every time you use a fan, you have a throat discomfort. You conclude that the fan speed creates this discomfort.
Yeah.
Right. So does it happen for everyone in your house?
Not for everyone.
Whoever experiences that fan speed, everyone it happens?
No.
It doesn't happen for everyone. It happens exclusively for you?
Yeah, exclusively for me, but my body nature may be like that, no? It cannot happen the same way for all individuals.
Yes, let's go there. So we are trying to inquire this phenomena, why and how this thing is happening exclusively for you.
Yeah.
So we understood that it doesn't happen for everyone, but for me. So there is some unique sketching in the connection of the fan speed and my discomforting experience, which cannot be summarily concluded, but assumed to have a correlation. Are you able to understand this?
Yeah.
Because it is not a general connection that can be established, that whoever is exposed to the fan speed, such as fan speed, doesn't have the throat infection or throat discomfort.
Yeah.
Because of this reason, we cannot summarily conclude that fan speed causes throat discomfort. We cannot. But for me specifically, it is happening repeatedly.
Yes.
Try and understand this difference. Like the fan speed and throat, there is no connection actually, because if there is a connection directly, actually, then it will happen for everyone.
Yeah.
But you see that it is not happening for everyone, but it is happening for me. Now,
true.
There must be some internal mechanism which is making this correlation, which is not an actual correlation, but there is something internally happening which is unknown, but establishing this correlation.
Yeah, could be.
Right? Now, in this, there is a term called trigger, which is not a cause, but trigger for something.
Yeah.
Like in case of allergy. Allergy, you have seen that pollen allergy. that somebody is
pollen
allergic to
dust
pollen,
allergy.
dust
Yes,
allergy,
yes.
and all this stuff. So there, if we dive deep to understand the reason or the cause of allergy is in the individual, it is not in the pollen, because if it is in the pollen, then everybody who are subject to the pollen will have the same
I got
reaction,
your point.
same experience. Are you able to understand this one?
Yeah, I got your point.
So pollen is a trigger for certain discomfort. Similarly, the fan speed is a trigger for certain discomfort. It cannot be summarily connected and concluded as cause.
Yeah. It is not that might not be the single cause. It might have triggered.
Yes. So due to the fan, it gets triggered.
Yeah.
That could be. So now, while see what we did here, this is a part of rational analysis. Also, this is called, and we are trying to inquire. We are trying to inquire and finding out whether our conclusion has got some validity or not. And in most of the cases, we'll find that the conclusions, what I am specially making, there are few things which may look like conclusion, that sun is there. It may look like conclusion, but it doesn't need any belief. It's a common for everyone. But here, when I'm making some special conclusion, I'm actually probing into it to find out its validity. The thing that we just did was an illustration of inquiry to find out the reality of my conclusions whatsoever. So when we do that, then the conclusion gets loosened. When we do this activity of inquiry, which we are structured to do, unless we suppress this knack. When we do this, that time this tentativity gets revealed, and the conclusiveness.
Again, there is a final conclusion that we have made that the fan could be a trigger. That is also a conclusion, no? Final.
Yeah.
Again,
so when we do could be a trigger, might be a trigger, that's not a conclusion. That's a tentativity we are proposing.
Okay.
So in the tentativity and the conclusion, the difference is not in not finalizing the things, keeping an openness to everything whatsoever. The difference between the conclusiveness and the tentativeness.
Got it.
And the tentativeness is a tremendous sense of energy that one gets, because the conclusion is a blockage of the progression of the exploration that we are programmed to. When we conclude, then the further progression of the exploration gets blocked. So let's rejoin with the same link and explore further.